Valve's newest game is almost here, and while people are almost certainly already rushing to the comments of this video to type out Hearthstone clone in all caps, Artifact is actually one of the most unique digital card games I've played. It's also one of the most complex, and while we have a full uncut match that you can go watch right now, it would probably be helpful to break down what's actually going on. So, here's how to play Artifact. Artifact is a 1v1 card game where players build a deck of heroes, spells, and items, then battle across 3 unique boards called lanes. Each lane has a tower with 40 health and a pool of mana to spend on cards in that lane, starting at 3. You win by destroying 2 of your opponent's towers before they can do the same to you. Killing one summons a new tower with 80 health so that the lane doesn't just stay empty. At the start of a match, your first 3 heroes are dealt out, 1 in each lane, alongside 3 weaker units called creeps. You zoom into the board on the far left, draw a starting hand of 5 cards, and begin the first action phase. This phase is where most of the match takes place, as players take turns playing 1 card or using 1 ability at a time back and forth. Every unit in the lane has an attack and health value, and an arrow pointing to their combat target. The action phase is all about using spells, items, and abilities to buff your units, hurt your opponent, move units into better positions, or even summon special creeps. Once both players decide not to take an action, all units in the lane deal their damage simultaneously to their targets. If they don't have a target, they deal damage to the opposing tower instead. The results of battle are shown ahead of time in helpful tooltips, so you know exactly what will happen if nothing is done to change the outcome. After combat, your adorable deck imps run to the middle board and the next action phase begins. Just like the last lane, you go back and forth taking actions until you both pass and combat occurs. One last time, the imps run over to the rightmost lane for the final action phase. After that, the shopping phase begins. You earn a set amount of gold for every enemy unit you kill during the action phase, which can be spent on item cards that are used to buff your heroes. The middle option is your shuffled item deck, made up of items you specifically brought into the match, which can be equipped directly to a hero from your hand after they're bought. The right is always a consumable item like a heal or a draw, and the left is always a totally random item card. After you decide what you will or won't buy, you deploy or redeploy your heroes. While your first 3 heroes are placed automatically, you choose what lanes all future ones go in. Your 4th hero arrives on the 2nd turn, and the 5th on the turn after that. Additionally, while killed creeps stay dead, heroes will respawn during this step 2 turns after they die. 2 more creeps are also randomly deployed, and the exact spots units spawn in their lanes is randomized. If any unit doesn't have an opposing one across from it, a random arrow will be dealt to determine the direction of its attack. After deployment, you draw 2 cards, increase every tower's max mana by 1, and return to the leftmost lane to do it all again. Those are the basics of how to play, though there are a lot more nuances. For example, there are 4 different hero colors, and while you can use any combination of colors you'd like, you can only play cards if there's a hero of the same color in the active lane, though there are certain cards that can be played to or affect other lanes as well. Every hero also has a passive or active ability, and automatically adds 3 copies of a signature spell to your deck, which is a special card that they have some sort of connection with, like Luna, who buffs every copy of her signature spell Eclipse at the start of her lane's action phase.
Blessed be the night. Thy cause is just.
There are also no limits to how many cards you can have in your hand, how many units can be in a lane, or pretty much anything else. Now that you know what you're looking at, check out our full match of Artifact in 4K, or hear about how Valve plans to keep prices in its real money marketplace from getting crazy expensive. And for everything else Artifact, keep it right here on IGN.